is the attitude of meekness. The attitude of meekness. Psalm 25 and in verse 9. Psalm 25 and in verse 9. He said, the meek will he guide in judgment, and the meek will he teach his way. The meek will he guide in judgment, the meek will he teach his way. Guidance is at the mercy of meekness. The meeker you are, the more guided you become. It's at the mercy. Meekness is agreement with the agreeing that you are ignorant, accepting that you don't know, refusing to prove that you know. Knowest thou not what this be? I don't know, Lord. When people assume that they know, that is why arrogance is the twin of ignorance. Everyone who is arrogant must be ignorant. Meekness. Openness to hear, to learn. The first attitude is the attitude of meekness. Number two is the decision to hear. That is being intentional. Psalm 85 and in verse 8 said, I will hear what God the Lord will speak. I will hear. I have decided to hear. I won't be passive about the matter. I won't be passive. There is an element of intentionality, being intentional. There is an element of being deliberate in hearing. There are times that God speaks on his own. On his own, that is, he comes to talk to you on his own. And there are times you provoke the hearing. The decision to hear. Number three is the climate of joy and praise. In 2 Kings chapter 3 and in verse 15, they brought a minstrel, and as the minstrel played, the hand of the Lord came upon Elisha, and he prophesied and said, thus saith the Lord, which means he heard the Lord. We read that already throughout the course of the month, Isaiah chapter 30 and in verse 29, you shall have a song as in the night, when the holy solemnity is kept, and gladness of heart, as when one goeth to the pipe to come to the mountain of the Lord, to the mighty one of Israel, and the Lord shall cause his glorious voice to be heard. The Lord shall cause his glorious voice to be heard. The Lord shall cause his glorious voice to be heard. That's a climate of praise and joy. Number 4 is the action of submission to godly instruction. The action of submission to godly instruction. Isaiah chapter 30 verse 20 and 21. He said, and though the Lord give you the bread of adversity and the water of affliction, yet shall not thy teachers be removed into a corner anymore. Don't be disconnected from your teachers, irrespective of what you pass through. Don't let any calamity or adversity make you run from church. Don't let anything disconnect you from hearing, from instruction. Instead of running from instruction, run to instruction. I'm not true. He said, but thine eyes shall see thy teachers, and thine ears shall hear a word behind the saying. This is the way, walk in it. When you turn to the right and when you turn to the left. So God speaks in the voice of your teachers. He speaks through the voice of your instructors. If only you can agree to be in touch. There are times you are listening to a CD, a tape message. You are listening to a preach message, even right in the course of the service. While you are in the course of hearing, God is speaking. At times, what the preacher is preaching is a bit different from what you are hearing from the same message. Many instructions. If you can only agree to be in touch with the voice of your God-ordained teachers, it makes direction cheap. God spoke in the voice of Eli to Samuel until Samuel ran and said, I heard your voice. Say, no, it's not me you are hearing. Next time you hear, say, speak, Lord, for thy servant heareth. And he lay down. And then God began to speak to him. That's why I said, you should not remove your teachers into a corner. Don't decide to just be an island to yourself without instruction. We have a lot of confusion in our generation because many are lost to themselves, submitted to no instruction. These climates are very, very critical. If we are interested in hearing the voice of God. I add one more to the service today, and that is the action of watching in the midnight. The night season is a season of spiritual transmission. He said, you shall have a song as in the night. When a holy solemnity is kept in the night, then the Lord shall cause his glorious voice to be heard. There are times you have to sit up in the night for the purpose of direction. Be awake at the night. Daniel chapter 2 verse 19-20. Then was the secret revealed to Daniel in a night vision. Then was the secret revealed to Daniel in a night vision. Acts chapter 16 verse 9. A vision appeared to Paul in the night. As there stood a man in Macedonia and prayed him, saying, come over into Macedonia and help us in the night. Night time is nice time when it comes to spiritual signals transmission. Don't use the whole night to sleep, especially as it borders on strategic direction. So we have looked at 5 of them: the attitude of meekness, the decision to hear, the climate of joy and praise, the action of submission to godly instruction, and the action of watching in the midnight. We'll look at 5 more in the second service. And all of these climates are important. So just be watchful in the second service as we look at the action and attitude of inquiry in the second service.